Well, hi there again, folks. Look at me just feeding you all with more content than usual. I'm back again with the follow-up on my popular video from last year going over K-pop groups who found major success with a sound or concept change. In part 1, I went over 8 groups, and for this next iteration, we have another batch of 8 awesome K-pop groups. For starters, let's address the elephant in the room and just say that K-pop groups change concepts all the time. I mean, this idea is what makes K-pop special. SM label groups tend to be the most known for drastic concept changes especially. Every comeback is pretty much a different era from many K-pop groups, and they're inspired by some new sound. But with most groups, there's always still something about the sound that still keeps their style. SHINee, for example, has so many different concepts in their discography, but there's always something about their music that makes you go, yep, that's a SHINee song. Every artist develops their own sound and style, and in the last video and for this video, I'm discussing the groups that tried something new, and even if it didn't work, they kept working on the formula until they succeeded. As we like to say, if you don't succeed, try and try again. And hey, before we get started, have you taken the chance to hit those like and subscribe buttons for me? And you're free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DareToBe if you like to. Anyways, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get started. Dreamcatcher originally debuted as a quintet under the name MINX back in 2014. Their first single was Why Did You Come to My Home and was followed by Love Shake in 2015. They had a bright image, and both songs had a more joyous tone and sound. But sales for MINX in their first 2 years were not meeting the label's expectations, and the girls unfortunately weren't standing out in the rapidly growing K-pop arena. Fast forward to 2017, and Happy Face Entertainment re-debuted the girl group by adding 2 new members and changed the group's name to Dreamcatcher. With Chase Me, the girls took on a much darker tone and sound, which was a big departure from their MINX days. As dark princesses, Dreamcatcher carved themselves out a new niche in K-pop, and they now stand out in the saturated K-pop scene as a girl group with an edge. Their sound typically appeals to J-rock fans and others who enjoy heavy guitars and string usage. Upon their debut in 2017 with DamDaDi, the young, fresh golden child gave off a fun, vibrant image that's not often found in K-pop boys these days. They followed with It's You, Let Me, and Genie, which further showcased the rookie group as bright and innocent. However, while their initial success was admirable, they never won a music show in their first couple of years. At the end of 2019, Golden Child changed things up and came back with Wannabe, which showed a much more mature side to their image and a more trendy, darker sound. This move appealed on a more international level, and their image and sound change paid off as they scored their first win late last year. They continued their success with Without You in 2020, another song that follows the deep house, melancholic trend, thus transforming into, I guess you could say, Golden Men. Debuting initially as a faceless group in 2006, Brown Eyed Girls set out in the beginning wanting to only showcase their vocals and didn't even appear their debut music video Come Closer. While they were critically acclaimed, their debut album did not meet commercial expectations. The girls abandoned their ballads and came back in 2008 with the retro-inspired song L.O.V.E. and How Come, and achieved their first #1 and set the course for their path to success in the industry. In 2009, Brown Eyed Girls changed things up again and solidified their status in K-pop with the massive success of Abracadabra, and they've continued to flex their artistry with each subsequent comeback by dabbling in many genres and sounds, all of which have yielded great success for the group. Debuting in 2015 when under the Moonlight, BtoB was the first group under AQ Entertainment, now called A-Team Entertainment. They fought an uphill battle to not only find their sound, but make a name for themselves outside of the Nugu rookie status. The group went through some lineup changes and explored other sounds like the retro sounds found within Venus Dance With Me and Gorgeous. Oh, baby, Unfortunately, VAV didn't find success until they adopted the Latin music trend that was catapulted by the massive hit Despacito. In 2018, they rolled out their own Korean version of the popular German song by K1's Senorita, and the group finally gained some attention. They later came back with another Latin-inspired song, Give Me More, and collaborated with De La Ghetto and Play and Skills. They've continued to experiment with their sound with dark funk pop and future-based sounds in songs like Thrilla, Killa, and Poison. Their music video views in the last year and a half have drastically increased for the group. Things are definitely starting to look up for VAV as they clearly have graduated from the Nugu group label that originally haunted them. Stellar was one of the easily most misunderstood groups in K-pop. Many K-pop fans haven't looked past their wardrobe and choreographic choices to how successfully they've actually evolved. Originally found under Top Class Entertainment with the production headed by Erica Shinhwa, the group debuted in 2011 with the less than stellar debut of Rocket Girl to lukewarm reception. After Eric's contract finished with the company and then changed to Entertainment Pascal in 2013, and with that, so did Stellar's sound and image. They did a complete 180 turn by tackling the sexy concept trend in K-pop, starting with Marionette. Sex sells in some cases, and in their case, it did garner attention and publicity they've been longing for, but at one price. They were harshly labeled by the conservative Korean culture. The girls continued with more sexy concepts like Vibrato that generated buzz, and it did in fact have some level of success for them. Sadly, when they experimented with other sounds with the Trop House song Sting and the Bray Brothers produced song Crying, the public couldn't move past their choices, and they eventually ended up disbanding without a music show win or achieving a level of success compared to other popular acts. However, Stellar managed to still leave a mark in the industry that will forever be remembered. BtoB debuted in 2012 and showcased versatility in their artistry with varying songs like the string-heavy, very beast-like Insane, to the 90s New Jack Swing-influenced Wow, the dark concept Thriller, and another fun-loving song like Beep Beep. Years later, BtoB wasn't exactly getting the attention they deserved until they demonstrated their vocal chops in the ballad Way Back Home. And with that change, they finally achieved their first win 3.5 years after their debut. BtoB's foothold in the industry was further cemented by other well-received ballads like It's Okay and Pray. BtoB has been able to make a name for themselves thanks to their ballads, thanks to having a powerful vocal and rap line to get them that much-deserved recognition. CLC came onto the scene in 2015 as a 5-member girl group with their fun, retro, upbeat song, Pepe. For the new Cube Entertainment girl group, the retro-inspired sounds continued with their following songs, 18, Like, and High Heels. The comebacks continued, but the girls' fame and success were not reaching the same level as their peers and label predecessors. Following 4 Minutes Disbandment in 2016, CLC then revamped their image and sound, as well as adding 2 more members, taking on what was rumored to have been 4 Minutes track Hobgoblin. Picking up right where 4 Minute left off, Hobgoblin in 2017 featured a strong EDM trap bass, which contrasted with their early works and proved to be a major turning point in their career. CLC gained more recognition and continued to rise in fame and charts with the subsequent comebacks of Black Dress, Me, and Devil, all of which were much edgier and more aligned with today's music trends and sounds. CLC won their first music show with the powerful No and haven't returned to their earlier retro roots. When BTS debuted in 2013, their sound and image had a strong hip-hop influence. Their early years had a respectable following and success, but after a major sound change starting with I Need You, and their most beautiful moments in life series of songs and albums, the band separated from the herd.
I need you, girl. 왜 혼자 사랑하고 혼자서만 이별해?
BTS continued to experiment with sound changes, and some would argue that they became more mainstream compared to the hip-hop sound and style they initially debuted with. The transition proved to be extremely successful for them, and they've gone on to make a huge name for themselves inside and outside of the K-pop genre. They continue to experiment with their sound with each subsequent comeback, and this tactic has proved to be the right change for their careers. Well, that's it for today, folks. Share your thoughts on these sound changes for the K-pop groups presented here and for the other ones I might have missed in either of the videos. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit those like, subscribe, and bell buttons for me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description. I appreciate you for stopping by. While you're here, check out many more of my works, and see you next time.